Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to the another episode of the NFC East Unleashed podcast, where your team doesn't have to be in the NFC East, but it sure does help. I'm Amir, and with Griffin here. I mean, this today is Saturday championship Saturday. Tomorrow's championship Sunday. Basically, what we're just gonna be recapping the two games that happened today, especially the one that happened about 10 minutes ago. So welcome, and let's just talk about whatever we're going to talk about, I guess.
I'm speechless. I'm genuinely speechless about what just happened. I'm speechless.
One of my friends, who's a Cowboys fan like you, burnt their CeeDee Lamb jersey and literally, like, but they burnt it and they sent a video to everyone.
Who? Who? Who was it?
I sent you the name. Did you
That's
see it?
so funny. Oh, I'm speechless.
But yeah, I mean, I guess you can go first because I don't think you have a lot to say. I'm assuming.
Uh, I have a lot to say
Oh,
because now with the Commanders going to the NFC Championship game, the only team left is the Cowboys. Of course it is. As soon as we won that Super Bowl, man, Jerry Jones sold his soul away to the devil, and now I will never be happy in my entire existence. That I might just become a fan of another team. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, oh my God, this was just belt to ass. Like, you thought that maybe that the Lions would have a shot when they went up 7-3. No, they even stand a chance.
I know, and that's the thing. I was like,
Like
"Oh, great,
you
here we go
had
again."
like I was like, okay, it's 10-14, second quarter, and then
Yep.
I don't know what happened after that. There was a Terry McLaurin 58-yard touchdown, which I was
That
like,
was off a screen pass too.
how do
He
you
just
give that
slid
up?
through.
It
He
it
slid through
was
two defenders.
it was so dumb. And then I mean, just I'm speechless. I've been speechless for the past
Like 3 weeks, I guess you can say.
exactly. Like, oh my
And the one
goodness.
thing is, I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was over. Jameer Gibbs was averaging 10
Jameer
yards,
Gibbs was destroying, and they didn't use him at all.
and that's
Like,
the thing.
they
And
stopped using
beginning
him,
of
and I was like, "What are you doing?"
the beginning of the first half or like second half, that's
Once
when
pick six happened, I mean, although I think Jared Goff should have been, or that it should have been. I don't think it should have been pick six. I think it should have been penalized, and that because the way that one dude hit Goff was
and also the way he hit Jaden Daniels, how we
okay.
illegal roughness Jaden Daniels, how we also got called for a face mask, which was
Okay.
not a face
Okay.
mask.
Okay. We get it. You're full of excuses. Um,
But it's clear fouls. But
no, I
anyway,
mean,
I
I'll
think the
give it to
way
you
I don't care
guys.
anymore. Shut up.
Oh,
Just the way how like we came
he's so
back and
confused.
like we guarded or not guarded. We stopped Gibbs to the best of our ability. That's what we did against Saquon Barkley. That's what we've been doing against these
You
running backs.
better do it against Saquon Barkley. I would actually hope to see you guys in the champ. Actually, no, I wouldn't. Because who's gonna beat the Chiefs now? Oh
Because you're not going to
no.
hear the rest of me if we make it to the champion Super Bowl.
Who's gonna beat the Chiefs? Nobody's gonna beat the Chiefs now.
You
The
just gotta hope it's either
like
the
the
Bills or the Ravens.
Eagles. I think the Eagles can beat them. I don't want the Eagles in the bowl. I don't want them
Bro,
near the
the
bowl.
Eagles already they can't beat them, bro.
So I mean, the Lions were the only team who stood a chance, and we're getting unless the Bills. It's got to be the Bills.
I think it's the Ravens, honestly. The way
Yeah.
Derrick Henry's playing, they should have
Well,
saved Flowers
one
back as
team
well.
beat them in the regular season, another team didn't. And at that time, the Chiefs were fully healthy. So
Anyway, we'll
maybe
get
the
to those
Ravens.
games
Yeah.
later. But for this game, yeah, like I was saying, like against in third or like the last game against Philly, Saquon Barkley had 107 yards in the first quarter. I think the rest of the game, or after the half, he had halftime. He had 113 yards. The rest of the game, I think he had like 140 on like 36 carries, which that game did end up going to the end. And then, yeah, I mean, just the ways you get your playmakers involved. And this team, you want to know the scariest thing,
What?
in my opinion, and you might agree with me, you might call me idiotic. Half the players that are playing on Washington on offense might not be here next year.
Bro, the Commanders playing with house money. Bitch, they were lucky if they got out of Tampa. They walk into Detroit and beat the shit out of them. What are they going to do to Philly? If Detroit is better than Philly, what are they going to do to Philly? Like, that's what I'm saying. They are playing with house money. They don't care what happens. They are here
Bro,
to ruin
we have
people's
100 million still.
They are here ruining people's playoff experiences. They ruin Detroit's hopes. Detroit's grand season comes to an end. They're playing like the Packers last year. Packers played with house money. They beat the Cowboys again. They ruined their chances of actually Cowboys were favorited to go to the NFC Championship game.
Yup, I
They
remember
ruined the
that game.
Cowboys' chances. The Commanders are in the same scenario where they are ready to ruin people's lives. Hell, I hope the Rams win next week, but if they do, I don't see the Rams going to the bowl with the way the fucking Commanders played. They beat the shit out of Detroit. As soon as that pick six happened,
I
it
know.
was over.
And
It
I'm
was
not gonna lie,
over.
the 3
Samer
points.
still was on locks. Fucking
I know.
Jameson Williams throwing a fucking interception.
Bro, I saw a tweet. That said Ben Johnson. Okay, guys,
Like
we're down
Ben
10.
Johnson, I don't care. I get you had a bad game. I get that your players, like, it's inexcusable what happened. I don't care. Come to my team. That's
Bro,
the only thing I'll be like.
I saw a
Like
tweet.
if Aaron Glenn becomes a head coach, he's not gonna get a ton of shit because obviously Detroit was buried like to the ground with injuries.
Yeah,
And
bro.
I'm not saying that. I mean, it's a like for defense, it's an excuse, but for the number one offense in the league to come up against a Commanders team that has almost
Wait, let me see what
nobody's
Amir Ross's
besides
saying.
Terry McLaurin and maybe what's his name? Brian Robinson. Like the rest of those guys are probably wide receiver 3 and 4s on other teams.
You could argue wide receiver 5 too.
I know they walked into Detroit, the best team in the league, better than the Chiefs with their 15-2 record, and beat the shit out of them. Like I don't know what's gonna happen in the NFC Championship game. My money's on the Commanders. I don't care who they're playing. If they came into Detroit and beat the crap out of them, my money is on the Commanders next week.
Thank you. And I'm not gonna lie, bro. It's actually gonna be fun because, I have a lot to say, but definitely we can just go back and forth because I think this is gonna be like a long episode anyway. But anyway, I saw the one thing I want to say is I saw a tweet talking about Mike Sammers still that said, Ben Johnson, okay, guys, we're down 10. I'm gonna let Jameson Williams throw a 10-yard pass as hard as he can to freaking I don't even know who to Michael Wright or something. I don't even know who he was throwing it to. I think it was.
I don't even know who he was throwing it to the fucking other team apparently because oh my god,
it was Tim Patrick.
Okay, let's steer off the Commanders really quick because I want to talk about.
Yeah, we'll definitely come back.
We'll come back to it because oh my god, I'm still in shock because obviously I'll talk about the Cowboys a little bit. I'm gonna have a Cowboys podcast coming out as soon as because now we can interview Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn, which I think is gonna be really good. Actually, it's more beneficial for us. So thank you for that.
I have a question for you.
Yep.
Who would you want more and why?
See, I want Aaron Glenn because we have the playmakers on defense.
Yeah.
I have a coaching list ranking. My top is Deion Sanders. I mean, I think Deion Sanders has one of the best. He can change the locker room, and with a good locker room, for example,
what the Commanders are doing.
Exactly. Take the Commanders. Dan Quinn came in. They have, some mediocre players on offense. The defense was bottom last year. They weren't that good to start the year. He changed that locker room around. They're like maybe like B tier people on that team, and they changed that team around. They're in the NFC Championship game. The one mistake that's going to come down in Dallas history is letting Dan Quinn walk and letting Mike McCarthy stay this season. Mike McCarthy should have gone. Dan Quinn should have become the head coach. He should have been promoted. He changes the locker room leadership. But Parsons would have loved Dan Quinn. It's
Yup.
insane. Jerry Jones is like it's not even Mike McCarthy's fault. Jerry Jones is the full reason why this team is in a shit show. And it's bad. Like it's really bad. He told him, he said he asked God for one more Super Bowl, which is when we won it against the Steelers in 95.
Yup.
And he said, I'll never ask for one again. Why? Why would you say you never ask for one again? We obviously won't one again. Once he's gone, then we might see some promise. But until he's in here, I don't see anything moving on this team. And I am actually so mad as a Cowboys fan because it's the same old story. And I keep getting shit on in school for being a Cowboys fan. My whole fan base is going crazy because they call us delusional. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. But I gave the Cowboys the props. Here we go. Commanders Cowboy Jaden Daniels has more NFC Championship game appearances than Cowboys quarterback Dak
Oh,
Prescott. It's been like it's tweeting about us.
I know.
Prescott's a 9-year veteran. Like I was speechless after the game. Like it's actually insane.
I know. And that okay, I have a hold on, wait, give me a second. I'm
Like
trying to
there's no fan base gives sympathy for us. I will talk to Raiders fans, to Panthers fans, and they all say that we suck. Like I can talk to fucking Jaguars, Texans fans. It's an in-state thing. Yeah, that's fine. I get it's an in-state rivalry, but they're in the AFC. I have no beef with AFC teams. I have beef with 4 teams in the NFC, and that's all the NFC East. But like the Commanders are the ones I least have beef because they don't talk crap about us. It's like kind of like a mutual thing. Like Commanders, Cowboys are kind of on the same page. I don't know. That's just my
yeah.
take. And the Niners, but the Niners are
I've
the Niners. They
always
kept us
thought
out.
it's Giants, Philly,
It's not
Commanders,
Giants
Cowboys.
Philly. It's not. Might have been Giants Philly. They took Saquon Barkley. They're done.
Yeah.
It's not. It's not
I
them.
remember at one point, like 2020 to like 2022, it used to be Giants, Commanders, and like Philly and Cowboys.
2022.
Like 2020 to 2022.
I don't
When
think it was ever. It's never been Cowboys Philly. At least as long as I've been a fan, it's never been. I've been a fan since Mike McCarthy.
yeah.
It's never been Cowboys Philly like ever. No matter what anyone says, it's never been Cowboys Philly. Like that is one of the most heated rivalries in sports.
Yeah, I
But
know.
like I'm sorry, I'm kind of turning this into a Cowboys thing, which is what I usually do, and that's my apologies. I'll get back on track with the Commanders, but
I don't even care.
it's almost like crazy that we get like actually beef from like fan bases who we have no like correlation with. Like I talked to a Panthers fan, he hates the Cowboys. Uh, I don't like. It's kind of crazy because the Cowboys are the last team to be in an NFC Championship game. They have the longest drought in the NFC. And I don't think it's going to change. I don't think it's going to change for at least another 5 years, or unless we get some help. Because if we don't get help, we're dead. But let's steer focus back. I kind of took focus off a little bit. I got a little selfish there. But
No, you're fine. Trust me. We're gonna have a whole segment for the Cowboys too. Because
I'll as soon as they get a head coach, oh my, I'm gonna have my own episode and I'm gonna come on here and talk about it
yeah,
because I mean it's just
yeah, I know. I mean, that's the thing. Like for me, I'm really not gonna talk a lot. Well, I think I can talk. I have somewhere to talk now. But like, if
yeah.
we were
Go ahead.
doing this episode in like 2020 to 2023, I, I would have no right to talk about being good. Like
And that's what I'm
anything.
saying is a 4-13 team has somehow gone to the NFC Championship game before the Cowboys. Like, that's insane to me. Like, a team we destroyed last year.
Oh, wait, I was about to say, didn't you guys make the NFC East championship, or not NFC East, NFC championship game against the 49ers when like you guys lost because Dak was being stupid, or was that divisional?
No, that was divisional.
Oh, okay. I was about
No,
to
no,
say
no.
I
I
couldn't.
was getting no. We haven't not gotten to the NFC Championship game since we went to the Super Bowl.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, it's bad.
Damn, man. Oh, I have a. Well, we're just gonna. I'm just because it's off season. We're getting into the off season stuff. We can really ask anything we want.
I
I'm
mean,
I'm gonna ask you straightforward. Would you take Deion Sanders?
yeah, absolutely.
Let's say you hire him,
Okay,
but he ends up trading for his son.
I'll take it. Honestly, like I love Dak Prescott. I've been a fan of him since he was drafted. But if it's gonna be the same scenario and we need change, and it relies us getting rid of Prescott, I'm totally fine with that. I love Dak Prescott. I will always defend Dak Prescott with my life. But
I will too,
if
man.
there's change that needs to be made, like Mike McCarthy, I thought Mike McCarthy was a great coach, but
Yup. But it had to happen.
there's change that needed to happen because we were not winning. And I mean, so if it comes down to us trading up to get like I don't know what we need to trade. Like that's like if we're trading up for like Tennessee, like that's
But that's the thing. Like you don't know when the quarterbacks are gonna go because, like, quite frankly,
like I would
Tennessee might not
I'm
even
only
pay.
trading up for Shador Cam Ward. I won't trade up for like Milrow or anything like that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like this
Now,
draft
am
class,
I don't I think the Cowboys will take a quarterback in the draft. I think they will. I'm looking at I'm trying to think of just
Dart, Milrow.
yeah, like Jackson Dart, Milrow, maybe. I still think Milrow's gonna end up going
Yeah.
to like
There was
a team
I
who
had
actually
a
needs
I
it.
saw a mock draft that said a sneaky team that could like trade up for like Jalen Milrow is like the Cardinals.
Yeah. My question for you
Hit me, man. I'm ready.
on the
Hit me.
playoffs, do you see yourself going to the Super Bowl? Like if the way you play today, do you see yourself making a Super Bowl run? It doesn't mean you win it, but do you see yourself making the Super Bowl against probably the Chiefs, the Bills, or I guess the Chiefs, the Bills, or the Ravens?
Wait, you mean winning it? Because we
No,
would
no, no,
beat
not
those
winning
teams.
it, just making it. Not no, no.
I mean, to be honest with you, yes. I'm gonna
Like
say
you're playing with house money. This
I
is the
am.
best your
And
team has
quite
looked
frankly, if you
in
don't,
years.
like you said, you have house money over 100 million to spend. Free
Yeah,
agents want to
you're
come
making the
here.
NFC Championship game, and you have $100 million to spend, dude. No, like I don't. You might win the division next year. Like if you can go out and get guys like T Higgins and like an actual like wide receiver two, like go against Harry, like that's yeah. I'm sorry, but you're going to the bowl.
I know, and I'm not even going to be cocky or anything, but like, that's the thing. Like even if you lose, let's say you win next week, you win. To quite honest, to like be honest with you, I do. I think the Rams are great. I think the Rams have a
I
very
think
good
the
offense.
Rams will win. I mean, I just hate Philadelphia. So
I think the Rams have a great offense. And tomorrow I'll be tuning in my ass off, respectfully. I'm sorry. Because my team, for the first time in my childhood, or not my childhood, my existence, and I think my dad's existence, although my dad went through like a Doug Williams, Joe Theismann era, whatever.
I'm gonna say I think your dad's seen at least them win a bowl.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I do believe that even if it's not this year, Jaden Daniels is gonna bring a Super Bowl to.
I think you will. Yeah, I absolutely think you will.
I mean, like you said, and we have like, and it's because of our GM. And quite frankly, when we brought in like 11 UDFs, I'm like, what the hell are we doing? Do we not trust our roster?
See, that's what I'm saying.
I could you not. I look back at our UDFAs. 6 out of our UDFA signings have turned into like legit contributors. They're not starters, but they've contributed as much as they can. And 3 of them are still on our practice squad.
Like, yeah, I don't. I mean, like what you're saying, it comes down to the GM. And with the Cowboys, your GM is terrible. And he claims he's the best. Obviously not, because the Commanders have a new GM who just took them to the NFC Championship game. If you can't do that and you're 80-something years old and you've been the GM for almost 40 years, you gotta go. And he wants a spotlight, is what he wants.
Can I tell you something? Being a GM for 40 years old is actually crazy.
Like, that's what I'm saying. Is there's change that needs to be, like, there's change that needs to happen, but he's too hypocritical to actually make the change because he wants to be in the spotlight. And it's been that same story for years. And I mean years. It's been that same story. Like before I was even born, as soon as he drove Jimmy Johnson out, I was like, I wasn't even alive. But as soon as he drove Jimmy Johnson out, I was like, we're not doing anything.
Bro, it's so funny. On like Twitter, it says Dan Quinn trending with Cancun.
Yeah, probably because of reference in Dallas. Can't get it out of their mouths.
Yeah, and like you said, to answer your question, I do, because quite frankly, we've beat Philly before, and I know Jalen Hurts wasn't playing, but Jalen Hurts does not play defense, and Philly fans are like,
that's fair. And like, it depends on how it goes with the Rams, but that offense was not clicking with Green Bay. Green Bay sucked. Like, Green Bay
no,
was
it
not
wasn't.
playing
It
good.
was not. I mean, you had AJ Brown reading a book. He wasn't getting targets. Devontae Smith dropped like 3 balls. Dallas Goedert was trying to kill someone.
Well, he actually did.
Literally, like that guy said, I literally slowed down so
But
I
like,
can hit him
I
more.
was like looking at. Oh yeah, okay. That Meek Robertson. I know. I mean, I know they're out of the playoffs, but he broke his arm. That's what they're saying. Prayers for him. Hope it gets better. But yeah, like I was looking at Twitter and Schefter just catches Commanders catch a stray from Schefter. I'm like, wow.
Yeah. And I want to say one more thing. Now that we're on the topic about it, I do think we will play. I do. I mean, not play. I can't speak
Of
right
course
now.
you will play.
I can't speak right now. What I'm trying to say is, what was I going to say? Oh, like I was saying, to go to a team from the gutter last year, to go to a team from a gutter last year and the years before. Honestly, you could argue since the 2018, 2019-ish season. 2020, the future looks fine. It looks normal. I mean,
Was that what's his name's first year?
who?
Why can't I remember your
Ron Rivera?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
You will hire a new coach in the pandemic. He does fine. I mean, 7-9, winning your division.
Yeah, I mean, what? Your quarterback was Taylor Heineke?
It was Alex Smith, Dwayne Haskins, Taylor Heineke.
Yeah.
I think it was one more guy.
Dwayne
Oh,
Haskins.
Steven Montez.
I forgot about Dwayne Haskins, man. Yeah.
Steven Montez. We had one of the other guys that was on our team. Not Jeff Driscoll.
This was for Sean Taylor, dude. Y'all doing this for Sean Taylor.
Yeah. And then it's whatever. And then 2020 comes. You go to 6-11 because of that's when the new week 18 stuff came. And then it's just the same thing. And then 2023 comes, you draft the quarterback in the 5th round. He ends up starting for you because Carson Wentz plays like absolute dog shit. And then
Huh.
he starts for you. And then Sam Howell comes and starts for you. The future looks bright for the first month and a half. And then it kind of goes downhill. You start off 2-0 for the first time since, I think, 1991 as well. Then it starts going downhill. And then, thanks to Greg Zuerlein, he made the future for Washington. And then
Huh.
Adam Peters, he built this team not just for 1 year. He built this team to compete for many years. Like you're saying, $100 million. And Adam Schefter, I think, like in like week 12, week 13, or it was even like, I think it was right after one of our practices. He said, Washington Commanders, free agents have told agencies they want to go to Washington. Washington is the place to go this
Yeah,
offseason. Quite frankly,
absolutely. They are playing with house money and made an NFC Championship game. You want to go there. Like I'm talking about free agents like T. Higgins possibly going to Dallas. No chance in hell he wants to go there now. Dallas looks like a shit show, and I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all. I don't blame anybody who doesn't want to go to Dallas.
you have NFL draft prospects like Luther Burden, like
Well, yeah, Luther Burden's out here tweeting Jaden Daniels every day. That's crazy. Like the only person I've seen who actually says he wants to go to Dallas is Genty. Like that's
yup.
it.
Well,
But
imagine
yeah,
you guys don't even take Genty either. That's gonna be like the pain. That's gonna be like the nail in the
I won't
coffin.
take Genty if like Burden or McMillan's there. Like I would rather take a receiver than a running back because the running back room's
Yeah,
stacked. Like the receiver room we need,
I don't
especially if
even
we
know
lose.
who's even gonna be there
Like
for
free
like.
agency is gonna be huge. Like hopefully we can do something. We gotta re-sign a bunch of people, work out the
How's your
money.
money looking like?
I think we have 30
I mean,
million. I
that's you can't really
think.
do a lot with that. I mean,
Yeah, especially like it depends who we let walk or who retires. Because if Zach Martin retires, we're not gonna have to pay him. If Demarcus Lawrence walks, I want to re-sign both those guys, and then I want to re-sign uh I want to re-sign Turpin and a bunch of other guys.
yeah,
And it's just it's again it comes down to Jerry Jones, and it's going to be the conversation for the next until he gets out of until he sells the team or it steps down as GM or
yeah,
something. It's going to be Jerry Jones is the reason why this team is losing.
yeah. And I'm not gonna lie to you.
Especially if Deion Sanders comes in and a good coach comes in. Because I get Mike McCarthy, I had I was talking about how oh maybe because he won the Super Bowl in AT&T Stadium, they kind of jinxed the Cowboys because they won't be able to win in
Yeah, I
AT&T
know.
Stadium. But
I think. What was I gonna say? Oh my god, I forgot. Okay, you can like, well, you can
yeah,
just speak.
I mean, we'll grab back to the Commanders really quick. Just a little recap from earlier today. The Chiefs, they're back in the AFC Championship game for the seventh straight year. They beat the Texans with a score of 23-14. I mean, this was the Texans looked promising at some points, but that offensive line just went back to how it used to be, which was letting CJ Stroud. He got sacked 8 times. Pretty sure Karlaftis had 3.
Yeah,
Like he got sacked so many times, and it's just it sucks because you're really hoping that one team is gonna now be able to try to possibly beat the Chiefs for the because maybe if Washington goes to the Super Bowl, I can see them maybe competing with the Chiefs, but I don't know anymore because the Chiefs are that good, and I had the Lions going to the bowl. I had the Lions winning the whole thing.
I did too. To be honest with you,
And I'm still in shock from whatever. I mean, obviously, Commanders fans, besides Dallas fans, they've dealt with so much, and I'm starting to think that this is where the Cowboys start to regress and regress for a long time. I'm
yeah,
thinking we're going into some kind of Commanders drought. But I mean, the Commanders, they play with house money. They're in fire right now. And Amir, I'm nothing but happy for you, man. I mean,
Thank you.
you've dealt with 4-win seasons, you've dealt with 6-win seasons, you've dealt with Sam Howell as your quarterback, you've dealt with Kirk Cousins when he wasn't really that good as your quarterback.
Freaking
You've dealt,
quarterbacks that are out the league.
yeah, you've dealt with like Alex Smith as your quarterback. Like,
Steven Montez, bro.
yeah,
I
like
know.
you've dealt with so much, and it's like I'm genuinely so happy for you, man. Like you
Thank you.
deserve
I hope
this.
I
The,
hope you're
Ca-
there too, man. I hope.
the Cowboys or not Cowboys fans, Commanders fans deserve this. And if I'm rooting for anybody in the NFC Championship game, it's going to be Commanders. Although we are, division rivals, but
We're not supposed to, but
yeah, there's a little bit of heart going on because I've known this guy for like 50 years. So,
yeah.
but either way, Commanders get the job done. Um, quick little Cowboys news. They went ahead and interviewed Robert Saleh today for the head coaching position. I don't think he'll get it because I heard rumors about Niners trying to make him the highest paid defensive
Yup, that
coordinator in
is
the league.
true.
But I mean, if he doesn't want to go back to the Niners and he wants to be a defensive coordinator, I mean, I don't want Mike Zimmer, so you can come over here and we'll take you with open arms. But also I think I'm over kind of over hating on Robert Saleh a little bit too much. The dude, I think he's a great head coach. Like you're looking at head coaches who coached,
Yeah.
like who got fired. Dude coached the Jets. Like that's saying Nick Saban went and coached like Michigan State or some like terrible team. Like the dude's a great coach. And if he went and coached a terrible team, I mean, that's the team. Like Robert Saleh got booted 5 games into the season. Five. Like the next head coach firing was, I think it was Dennis Allen. I think that was 8 weeks in, and then after that it was Matt Eberflus was 13 weeks in. They gave Robert Saleh no time, and they
Yup.
they did nothing. More head coaching news. Jeff Olbert. Oh, great. Jerry Jones is trending, and Dak Prescott is. Oh, that's gonna be fun.
Wait, what
But
happened?
they're trending on Twitter. Both of them are. But and coaching news. What the? Oh, I don't know what that. Oh, and coaching news. Jeff Ulbrich, the interim head coach for the Jets,
Oh,
is the
yup.
defensive coordinator now for the Atlanta Falcons. Who I think he was the DC actually for the Jets. Which I mean, I don't know how to feel about that. I mean, I don't know how good he is, how bad he is. I don't really care
I've
for the
heard
Jets
his
that
defense
much.
is actually good.
Yeah, but I guess it. I mean, you had guys like Sauce Gardner. I mean, we're gonna make a list. Our next episode's gonna talk about just the free agent signings and just off season plans and stuff like that. We'll get to that next week when we
Yeah.
cover the rest of the NFC Championship games tomorrow, and then obviously the we'll talk about the not the NFC Championship games. We'll talk about the what's it called? Why am I forgetting now?
AFC
The
Championship
AFC
game.
divisional games.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the other NFC one, which will happen tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, just happy for Commanders fans. They've dealt with a lot. So, hopefully Cowboys will be next there, but it's gonna
God willing.
yeah, it's gonna take me a lot of convincing. Anyways, that's gonna be it from us today. Congrats to Commanders, congrats to Chiefs, moving on, 10 to
Wait,
the
whoa, 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 wait.
championship games.
You
Oh,
wanna do we didn't even talk about the games tomorrow, like our predictions and like preview.
oh, we didn't. I mean, I was gonna talk about them next week, but if you want to talk about them now, it's
No,
fine.
like because you know how like we do predictions and stuff?
Oh, I thought we already did predictions. I just haven't released the episode yet.
We only did them for wild card.
Oh, we didn't do predictions for her. Oh, oh.
Yeah, we only
Well,
did,
I have the Rams tomorrow, pulling off another upset in the NFC, which that is gonna be a weird NFC Championship game if that happens. And then I have the Bills winning, and I think they take care of the Chiefs next week.
oh you have the Bills winning?
I have the Bills winning, yeah, because it's supposed to snow.
Oh.
And I
Wait,
get
check
Ravens
Twitter
playing
for a
cold weather,
second.
but I don't think I think the Bills will be able to take care of this now. But yeah, I'm on it.
Yeah,
And
and then for me, I think the Ravens are going to win, but just because I think Lamar, Henry, they're on another level, and the Bills, their defense is good, but it's a lot like the Lions. If it's in a shootout, I'm taking the Ravens. Although I know they don't have I know they don't have Zay Flowers tomorrow. He's listed as doubtful, but usually doubtful you don't play. Um, so I have the Ravens winning. I think Lamar again solidifies his MVP, although I think it should be Jaden Daniels because MVP is the player with the most
value.
impact, and the player with the most impact this season has been Jaden Daniels. I mean, like we've been saying the last like 30 minutes, 4-13 to 13-5.
14-5 now.
14-5. You
You
beat the
just
one
won.
seed by 14 points. You beat the Bucks, 2 playoff wins. He's broken like an insane amount of records that I don't even remember what he broke.
Too many
He's in
records to
the he's been
remember.
in the Hall of Fame 3 times,
He's been in the
and
Hall of Fame 3 times.
like little stuff like most pass yards, like the
Oh,
Hail Mary
oh, oh. I
touchdown,
was
those
like,
small things.
I mean, if he keeps this up, I think he'll be in the Hall of Fame. But
LMAO. Did you see? Oh, okay. And
yeah,
then
yeah.
so yeah. I'm taking the Ravens. Like I said, I think if it's like a game like tonight, I think Lamar will find a way to win. And if he doesn't, I think Lamar would still be the MVP. Although I think there's a world where Josh Allen's like, you know what, I won, I have to be MVP.
Yeah.
But yeah, for the Rams and Eagles game, this is the game I'll be watching for the most. Although I do feel like the Ravens and Bills game will be the most not funner one, the more exciting one, definitely. But man, I'm such in a great like state of my life right now. I mean, today I woke up at like 7, went to the gym, did all the stuff I had to do, came home at like 10:30, started doing some work for school. I had 18 minutes assignments. Don't ask why.
Wow.
I narrow hey,
In
but I narrow
every class or in
no,
one
like
class?
in total.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
I narrowed it down to 4. I worked until 5:30 though. I
Wow.
11 to 5:30. Then I locked in for the Texans game, although I watched some of it. It was kind of boring, not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's very boring.
Um, and then I locked in for Washington's game, and then tomorrow, wake up, do if I want to do any work, do it. If I don't, I have Monday because we're off Monday as well, potentially Tuesday as well, regarding the snow. And yeah, Capitals are doing good. Wizards are gonna get the number one overall.
The only like Washington or DC team I support is the Capitals, so they're doing great, and I love that.
Yeah,
I'm
I know
actually
they
gonna
are.
go
They
rewatch
won
the game.
today too,
Actually, I didn't
right?
watch it. What?
Did they
I
win
think they
today?
won 3-1 or 4-1.
Oh wait, it just showed up on Sports and they're 4-1.
Yeah, because I think they got two empty netters at the end. I don't know. I didn't
Wait, do
watch it.
you get like the fight offs? Like I don't get. You can just like fight whenever you want.
Well, it's that you can, but like they won't penalize it unless it's bad. Like they don't the refs. But this is why NHL refs are the best.
Wait, I
Like
don't get it. Like what leads up to a fight? You can just fight whenever you like. What's the?
like I mean I don't know if like someone like pushes you or something or like hurts one of your
Oh,
guys like they just start fighting. But like if it gets bad, so like they'll like if they start like ripping each other's like gloves off and like ripping each other's like
oh, that makes
yeah.
sense.
Yeah. They
Yeah,
won't penalize you unless it gets to a point where like it's gotta be stopped.
yeah, I know, dude. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh.
I don't even know. I don't even know what to think anymore, bro.
I think you should take this and sleep on it and just feel happy for yourself
I'm
because
not sleeping, man. I'm about
oh
to
yeah,
go and
you are
like.
not sleeping. You probably are just gonna go on Twitter and destroy everybody who like I bashed you guys for a little bit, but
Yeah, I know.
I don't have room to talk. So all right, anyways, that's gonna be
That's it.
end of the episode here. Stick around soon. We're going to have a mock draft coming out with all of our picks as soon as the season ends. We'll
Yup.
be talking about the two games tomorrow soon. And then we'll be talking about the championship games and then the draft and free agency and coaching changes and everything
Definitely a
about that.
lot about the offseason,
Yeah, off
especially
season is going to be awesome, especially in the first couple weeks of it.
like the first few days, honestly.
Yeah, I'm going to be hopefully streaming that
Bro,
first day of free agency and then the
I
draft I'll be
wish we
streaming.
could I wish we could get dude, I can't wait to be in school. And you might call me biased,
I
but
can't wait to get the hell out of the season, start the draft. As soon as we find our coach, I can't wait. I'll be excited.
bro, I can't wait to be in class and get a prayer notification by Adam Schefter or anyone. Breaking: the Washington Commanders have signed
Blank.
wide receiver T. Higgins, 4
Okay.
years, $105 million deal. A major signing by Adam Peters after an incredible year by the Commanders. You might call me biased, bro, but I think it could happen.
I think you could too. I'm not like going after you. Today, we got a great episode coming for you today. We're going to recap the two divisional games that happened today because apparently Philadelphia Eagles can always win. Matthew Stafford, you're on my hit list. Um, we're going to talk about we have kind of came up with this
Like a little wish
like
list,
wish list kind of thing, like Santa Claus Christmas wish list.
offseason preview,
It's
kind
got
of.
like basically off-season stuff, yeah. We're gonna deep dive into that. It's gonna be our main focus today, and then we're gonna talk about our AFC and NFC championship predictions. Yeah, let's recap the two games that happened.
A little something. Before we start, I want to say two things. This might be our longest video we've ever posted. It literally could be.
I feel like we always say that, and then there's somehow an episode that's like longer.
Yeah. And then the second thing is quick shout out to Sam Cosme, our right guard, as I fell asleep because I slept at 10:30 today because I was out yesterday. Like right after the game, I went to Pittsburgh with my dad. So I just came back, but
You
shout out to
travel
him.
so much.
He's the cornerstone of our offensive line.
Didn't he get
Speed
hurt?
recovery. He has a
Okay,
torn
yeah, I was gonna
ACL. He's
say.
definitely
Oh, he
out
tore his
for the
ACL.
season. But speed recovery to him, and let's
Oh
get
my
on to
God.
this. Let's get this going.
My God, he tore his ACL. Jeez.
Yup.
Okay. Wow. That is okay. I did not expect that to happen. Anyways, so we're gonna go ahead and recap the first divisional game of the day that happened with the Rams and Eagles. Eagles squeak out a win. Rams almost made a last second comeback, but Matthew Stafford. I hate it when a quarterback is 30 years old. And to be honest, this might be the last time we see Matthew Stafford on the field because
It really could be.
I don't know what's gonna happen with him. But anyways, the Eagles win with a score of 28-22, and the Rams made a huge effort to try and come back in that game. They were down 6 points. They scored a touchdown. They forced Philadelphia to get a three and out, and they had one of the most craziest catches I've seen in a playoff game with Puka Nakua just going up and like grabbing it with his the back of his shoulder, which I was like, wow.
That was
Um,
an insane catch.
yeah. And then they couldn't capitalize on it. He took a big sack at the end, and it just cost them because then he could
Yeah.
have finally gotten fourth and like 11 or something. And then
But one
it
thing for the Rams is that their future is
it's
so
so
bright.
yeah. That defense, I mean, I'm like we're gonna get to our AFC championship predictions, but I'm just gonna say Eagles and Jalen Hurts. You gotta watch out because if y'all played like you played with the Rams today and you played last week, you are not gonna go to the Super Bowl. Yeah, Amir, your
I mean,
thoughts on the Eagles and your, you know, an NFC East showdown for a chance to go to the Super Bowl.
my thoughts for next week, I think, are pretty simple. I mean, there's really one guy you have to stop for the Eagles. You stop that guy, you kind of have the bread and butter. You kind of have the bread and butter of how you're gonna win. Stop that guy, and you have a very good chance.
Yeah, and I mean, you don't even need to stop that dude. Like, think about Jahmyr Gibbs. Jahmyr Gibbs ran for 175 yards yesterday, and he still
Yup.
won. You just
And I
outplayed
think
the
he had it.
quarterback. And that's what
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels in this offense for Washington needs to do.
Quinyon Mitchell might not be 100% as
Yeah,
well.
exactly. They're gonna have Quinyon Mitchell was out. I know Hurts was a little banged up. I think he's fine.
One thing. When
Oh,
at the end of the game when they like talked to him, the girl was like, "So how do you feel? Are you good to go?" He's like, "I played through." And then he said, "How are you okay?" He said,
yeah, but he barely
"I,
threw the ball, so that's
I
my like,
know." And then like he came back in, and then like my dad realized that he was like limping, like going to like the locker room. He's like, "Oh, Mir, he's limping." I'm like, "Yeah."
yeah,
He might play. He definitely will probably play, but he's not going to be 100%.
yeah. And then the second divisional game, which just ended about roughly 40 minutes ago.
30, 40 minutes ago.
Yeah. The Bills get the win at home. They improved to 10-0 at home, and they beat the Ravens with a score of 25-27. Ravens came back. Ravens had
They
the
did. It
game
was a
tying touchdown.
very good game.
And then Mark Andrews dropped the 2-point conversion. And before that, he had a fumble that cost the Ravens a drive that they were cruising down. I don't know. I fell asleep during that game, so I was not really paying that much attention. But
Oh,
it's just, the Ravens, they had a great season. But I mean, you like coming into Buffalo, where they've been undefeated
it's
all
hard.
season, is very hard. Like
Yeah.
Detroit, they've lost twice there. So that was like, okay, they're not like Highmark Stadium, they were undefeated. So, Amir, your thoughts on the Bills cranking out the win against the Ravens?
And it was a very good game. And I know the score is going to be like, oh, but it was 27 to 25. 27 to 25. That doesn't matter. I think what matters is the Ravens, they fought, they came all the way back, and it ultimately came down to maybe 1 to 2 plays because like you said, if Mark Andrews didn't fumble, I mean, he was trying to get more yards. You can never be mad at that, especially as a team, your players fighting for more yards because football is a yardage game. And then you can't get mad at that. But I mean,
Yeah, that fumble was bad.
like you were saying, they were cruising downfield and they were down at that point. So if they would have scored there, that could have really changed the like game, honestly. But it was a fun game. Lamar's had an incredible season. Derrick Henry's had an incredible season. And this same Ravens team can really run it back next year and be here again.
Yeah, and I think they will. I think they'll get wide receiver help. Obviously,
They definitely need some.
Zay Flowers being out was huge for them. That was probably the game changer there as soon as Zay Flowers was out. Um, but sorry, I'm reading Twitter stuff right now. But yeah, those are the two divisional games that happened today. Congrats to both the teams that made it, except for the Eagles. I hate you guys and will forever. Um, we're gonna go ahead and get to our AFC Championship kind of before we're gonna save the off season thing to the very end because it's gonna take up most time. So I don't want
Yep.
to kind of like jump, save the put the big thing in the middle. Wow. Okay. AFC championships, or AFC. I'm saying I should say NFL championships. Um, 3 o'clock next week. We'll be in Lincoln Financial Field, and we'll be seeing the Commanders and the Eagles in NFC East showdown, trying to take home the crown. Commanders obviously are having like more than a Cinderella story. It's a. I don't even know. Like, how would you define the season?
It's something that only Commanders fans maybe could have thought.
Uh, Entirely. I think I was looking at the pick'ems for on the NFL on the fantasy app for
Yeah.
ESPN, and there's maybe like 3 or 4 people who actually picked the Commanders to go. Like if you're not a
Yep.
Commanders
And
fan,
that's
you
the
pick
thing.
the Lions.
I remember during summer, I remember like the line was like 7.5 most wins.
Yeah,
And now you have
with
14
14
wins. You
wins,
had a you had
you
a
are
12-win
one game
season.
away. You're a rookie and one game away from going to a Super Bowl. Amir. obviously this week is going to be huge for you. Obviously Sam Cosmi being out is going to be a very big kind of just statement for you guys. What do you guys see? What is your key to think of beating the Eagles in their home turf and ruining their playoff chances on Sunday?
I think on defense, it's simple. This secondary has been playing very good.
Hmm.
Very good. And when the Eagles played last time when Washington won 36-33, that was Marshall Lattimore's first game like really playing back from injury because he missed like the last two games as well after lingering his hamstring.
Hmm.
But he's healthy. He told reporters, I'm ready. I'm ready to go. We all, this locker room, right when I came here, we imagined that I'm the final piece. I'm ready. I'm just ready to play. That's all I'm going to tell you guys. Mike Samuelsville is playing amazing.
Oh my God, he was amazing.
He just keeps on getting better every single week. Jeremy Chin, Quan Martin, I want to give a shout out to because he's having a very good season, but he's having such a very good, quiet season. This Dan Quinn over the summer talked about how Quan Martin's taking that leap every single day. And every single week, he's been making tackles, plays,
Hmm.
and when it mattered most, he was he was doing very good. He's playing very well. But to the keys to win this game,
Hmm.
it's simple. Stop the guy that had 205 yards today.
Hmm.
Please do not have 5 turnovers like you did last game.
Hmm.
I mean, it showed you, literally yesterday's game when you scored 45 points and 0 turnovers showed you on offense how critical that is.
Hmm.
Because usually in the NFL, quite frankly, I think we can both agree when a team scores 31 points, they should win.
Yeah.
They
Or, you know, yeah, when they score 31 points, I mean, it depends on obviously the team they're playing. But I'm
There's
just
a
gonna,
very good chance they should be winning.
yeah.
And
Um,
then on defense, and then for offense, it's simple. Sam Cosmi's not playing. Tyler
mhm.
Biotish is. So you could really much argue maybe a double team from Jalen
Was
Carter.
Biotish in the divisional?
What?
Was he in the divisional game?
Yeah, he was playing.
Okay.
I mean, you could
He was on
argue
my
with
side.
doubling with him and Nick Algoretti, but if you don't, just don't throw it his way.
I just,
Um, or
I
not
was,
throw it his way. Don't run it his way. I mean, you can obviously run it his way. I do think Brian Robinson has that strength, but that guy, Jalen Carter, is a freaking beast.
yeah. I
He's
think,
very good.
yeah, I think for the Commanders, your goal is going to be to limit that front seven. Like that, Jalen Carter has been playing lights out this season. You got Nolan Smith up there. Uh, the other dude, I forget his name, who they brought in. Crap, he was from the Jets.
Kobe Dean?
No, not N'Kobe Dean. N'Kobe Dean's out. It's the guy
Wait,
they
D line?
Josh Sweat. Josh Sweat.
Oh yeah, Josh Sweat.
That front seven is gonna be, obviously Zach Bond, who's been playing like lights
Oh,
out the whole
speaking of
season.
Josh Sweat, later on in this video, I'll be talking about Josh Sweat.
Oh, okay. But I think the Commanders is you want to go in with the same mentality as okay, you just beat the number one seed, but this is just another game. Like the Detroit
Yeah.
game, they told him, oh, it's just another game. It wasn't just another game because that was your last game. So, you kind of want to go in with that same mentality, but this team was, they had a
They
worse
were
record than the
unfazed.
Lions. Yeah. But
They were unfazed.
they've also have not been playing the best offense, and it's been, relying on Saquon Barkley. Jalen Hurts has not been able to throw the ball. Jalen Hurts
No.
in his past two playoff games, I'm going to look at the stats right here. Against the Rams today, he had, let's look, 128 yards. Saquon Barkley did all the work. Okay. And against the
Yep.
Packers, he had 131. So about 100, 250 yards passing. If you take away Saquon Barkley and force Jalen Hurts to use his hand, it's gonna be a problem because he's
I
not
think
been good.
I think it could be another like 2-3 interception game.
And I don't know how much he's going to use his legs because of the way his injury was, where his leg kind of got bent backwards today. So I think controlling the front seven, and then also it's going to be huge if Quinion Mitchell does not play. Because, like, you're going to
Yeah.
have maybe Cooper DeJean, who Cooper DeJean was not that good today. Um, they had some good moments in the secondary, but I think that the Commanders, like the play calling, they have special ways of trying to like limit the like. You could
Yup,
argue that
definitely.
um what's his name? That the Lions secondary, obviously they were injured, but I mean that's the best one of the best secondaries in the league. And the Commanders exploited that. You want to take that same mentality into a secondary that, obviously isn't as injured, but is basically, the exact same where they're a top secondary in the league. You want to take that and you want to go and use your arm. Jaden Daniels, obviously,
Definitely.
he's going to want to use his legs. And I think that the running game is just going to need to be huge because you got to control that front seven.
And that's the thing. I think last game when we won 36-33, Washington, Jamison Crowder and a lot of Zacchaeus had 4 touchdowns combined. Terry McLaurin, obviously, the 31-yarder where he was wide open.
Mhm.
But another thing is, Washington is another unsung hero. And that unsung hero in the playoffs has been De'Ami Brown. If he has another good game,
Mhm.
it could really be a very big threat. I know this is probably going to be the worst receiving core outside of Terry McLaurin that Jane Daniels played with in his whole career. But if De'Ami Brown has another good game, the O-line limits the sacks like last night or yesterday. I
Mhm.
like Washington's chances on offense to score more points than the Eagles. And if to be honest with you, and if Jalen Hurts, if he's not like ready to play and he's like whatever, he could be a little bit stiff. And I
Yeah.
honestly do trust the secondary to get like two to at least one interception that really costs them when it matters most.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say my prediction for the NFC Championship game. I have the Commanders winning. I have them winning a strong 28-17. I think they really start to take off and prove and start lighting up that secondary. I had them going to the Super Bowl, and taking on my AFC pick, which I will say in a minute after Amir gives his pick.
I think, like we just said, I think this game can be a blowout, but it's an NFC East rival. I think that Washington will definitely win. I'm taking my Commanders all day, all any day. And I think we win 35-23.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm just gonna go ahead and just give a little props here to Adam Peters and the whole front office, and to Amir too. I mean,
Definitely.
you guys are, the Cowboys are kind of going what you're going through right now, and you know what? As long if it shows that Jerry Jones needs to change something, then I'm fine with not being good for a couple years. Like if it shows that there's change that needs to be happening, then I'm fine with that. Um, in terms of coaching news, really quickly for Dallas before we move on to the AFC Championship game. Um, the Cowboys have shown interest in both Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson. They have not scheduled interviews yet. They also have not scheduled an interview with Deion Sanders. They are trying to probably work it out. Deion Sanders is probably also talking to Colorado to see if he can try to get more money from them, or just I know Jerry Jones has spoken to him recently. I think Schefter reported that today. He spoke
Yup.
to Sanders recently on the phone or something, but they haven't scheduled like a in-person interview or like a formal interview. So it's gonna be a couple months, not a couple months. It's gonna be a couple weeks before we probably figure out who the head coach is gonna be. I hope to God it's not Kellen Moore. Like, oh
You,
my
you don't
God,
want Kellen
I do
Moore?
not want Kellen Moore. Nobody wants Kellen Moore. No Cowboys fan wants Kellen Moore
Yeah, I guess so.
because it's like a Mike McCarthy clone, and we don't want that again.
Yeah,
But
that makes
I
sense.
mean, Amir, you're in the NFC Championship game. That's obviously huge. Moving on to the other side of the NFL, we got the AFC Championship game, and these games are always good. It's the Bills and the Chiefs back at it again. Last time Bills made the AFC Championship game was 2020, where they lost to the Chiefs, obviously, who went on to win the Super Bowl that year. Amir, we saw the way the Bills played today. we saw the way the Chiefs played yesterday. What do you think is going to be the key factor in being able to stop um Patrick Mahomes and his playoff magic for the Bills?
For the Bills, I think you have to stop the run. Or no, I don't think Isaiah Pacheco's playing. Is he?
Pacheco
Let's
should be
check.
playing.
Chiefs depth chart.
He's been fine. I'm just gonna go really quick here because this is gonna be my thing. If I'm doing anything, I'm double teaming Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce has the most success in the playoffs. Then
And against Buffalo too.
yeah, he's played great against Buffalo. I expect this game to go down to the wire, like the final 10 seconds, like it did in that divisional game. I'm you got to limit Travis Kelce as he plays great in these playoff games against the Bills. He plays great against just any team recently. He had over 100 yards again. He's catching up to Jerry Rice in most consecutive 100-yard games in the playoffs, or just I think it's just most receiving yards in the playoffs. But the Bills got to work on that run. They did it against the Ravens today, and the Ravens arguably had a better run game. The Bills just dominated on the ground. Josh Allen barely threw. He threw for 120 yards.
Yeah, bro. The quarterbacks today were like complete garbage.
Well, Lamar threw for 255.
Except
So it's
Lamar.
when
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson throws, you know that it's going to be probably it's a close game. But I
Yup.
think the Bills, obviously they're switching. They already played this year, Bills and Chiefs did, but this time they're in GEHA Field in Kansas City. So I think the Bills are just going to have to mentally lock in and say, okay, this is our one shot. We're in the AFC Championship game. We are the best we've looked in the past 3 years. And arguably the better quarterback is Josh Allen. And he needs to show that again like they did earlier this season. Amir, your thoughts on Kansas City's chances of going to the Super Bowl?
There's a very good chance. There's a very good chance. And I know we're all gonna say, oh, Devil's Magic. If the team's good, you can't deny it. And I know some people love to deny it, but I think it's
I love to
obvious.
deny
Well,
it.
sure. I think it's on paper. I think Kansas City has a very good offense, although it hasn't been the best, but it's a very good offense. I mean, it can click at any moment.
Mhm.
Patrick Mahomes is playing very good. We know that, or he's playing good. But at
Not
the end of the
very
day, he's
good.
Patrick Mahomes. He will make a play when he has to,
Mhm. Oh,
and I
that
think
that Texans
and I
divisional
think,
game. Sorry, I'm cutting you off here, but that Texans divisional game with the flopping, like that's gonna become a
dude, that
real.
was that was stupid.
Yeah, that's gonna become a real issue.
I
Like
know.
they're gonna start talking about quarterbacks probably getting either fined or like penalized for flopping because flopping is
Yup,
part of my language, but it's a pussy move. It's it's
it
it's
is.
so stupid.
I know. And
Um,
then I think honestly, I mean Isaiah Pacheco is very good. So is Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt's been very good this season. To be honest with you,
yeah, I was
he's
gonna say the
he's
Chiefs
been
take
there.
any like running back and they make them like good, but I guess
I
Kareem Hunt's
know.
been
And then
there.
I think honestly for the Chiefs, it's what you did today. I mean for the Bills, I think it's what you did today. The Ravens didn't have the number one receiver, but the Ravens have three very like Hollywood Brown's very fast. Xavier Worthy, we know what Xavier Worthy is, but their like main pass catching guy is DeAndre Hopkins. Now, obviously, you have to be careful about Xavier Worthy, Hollywood Brown,
Hmm.
but I think if this defense, this secondary, can really like try to cause some problems, get interceptions, then
That front seven, I think,
again,
for Buffalo
what?
needs to be huge. And I mean, it depends on the
Yeah,
injuries that happened because I know Rap went down earlier. He got carted off, I think, and then somebody
he
else
came
got.
back though.
Oh, he did. Okay, somebody else
Yeah,
got injured. I saw. I did. I couldn't pick up the name, but he did something to his arm. It looked like I forget who it was. I'll look later, but
I
I
don't
think it was
remember.
one of the linebackers. I don't know.
I
It was.
think I think it was someone. I don't remember who.
Hold on. I think I can remember the name if I look at the Bills defense. Okay. It was I think it was Taron Johnson. I think it was Taron
I
Johnson,
think I
or
don't even know
it
who
was
it
Taron
was,
Johnson,
but
or it was Terrell
I
Bernard. It
hope.
was one of those two, which is
Yeah, I
huge if they
hope.
lose one of those guys.
Yup, definitely. I think the number one thing, and then for the Bills, they have Lamar. They have Josh Allen.
Mhm.
He is their offense. If he's clicking, that whole offense is clicking.
You need to
Brett
run the ball if
McDuffie's.
you're the Bills. Like, if you can run the ball, I think the Chiefs have one of the better run defenses, but so do the Ravens. I think the Ravens have the best run defense in the NFL. I don't, I'm gonna look, but hold on, let's look. I think the Ravens have the
They,
best.
they have a top defense.
It's okay, no, it's the Eagles. Eagles, but the
Yeah, it's
Ravens
the
run
Eagles are.
defense is 10th and the Chiefs are ninth. They give up about 4 yards. There's about a 4 yard difference. So, and then the Bills are sitting at 17th. So I think if the Bills want to win, they need to exploit that run defense like they did against the Ravens. It'll be a little bit more tricky, but I
Yeah,
think they can do it.
definitely. And I
So
think it's time for predictions.
yeah, I'm taking the
And
Bills.
I think my prediction is I wish it's the Bills. I think we match way better against the Bills.
Hmm.
And I hope you're right.
Oh, you're gonna have the
But
Chiefs. It's okay.
do I do it? I don't know. Cause like
I think that
uh
everybody wants to see a Buffalo. Like everybody
yup,
wants to see a
definitely.
Buffalo Commanders, but remember what happened last year? The Super Bowl everybody wanted to see, and it did not happen. It was what was it? It was Ravens Niners, and we just got Ravens Chiefs or Chiefs Niners.
Yeah.
Or I know I think it was Ravens Detroit. That was the Super Bowl everybody wanted to see. Although that would have been a blowout because they played early in the season. They
That
were
would have been an
bad.
amazing game.
No, no. The Detroit Lions got blown out by the Ravens earlier in the season.
Yeah.
Like it
But
was
I do
bad.
think I think the God, I don't know who to
That's
pick. I'm gonna
okay.
pick either team, but I'm gonna take. I think I'll give a score for both teams because I really can't decide.
Yeah. I
I'll say Chiefs if they were to win 31 to 27.
yeah,
If the Bills win
it's gonna be close.
27
20.
23.
Yeah, okay. That's fair. Um Obviously, I think the Bills win. I'm gonna go with a score of 23 to 20. Honestly, I think it's gonna be 23-20. I think they're gonna get
Wait,
a
you
last
keep
minute
talking.
field
Give me
goal.
a second. You keep talking for like, give me a second. Just
Yeah,
keep
oh
talking for
yeah,
like
yeah, I
30.
got you. I got you. I got you. Um And then honestly, I know Amir's gonna hate me for this. That's why he's not here. So I'm glad I said this now. But I mean, I really want the Buffalo Bills. I'm kind of on my dad's side here, where my dad really wants, if we're not in the playoffs, he wants whoever has not won to go win. And the Bills have not won ever. And I know they've lost to Washington before, they've lost to us. But I think if it's Washington Buffalo, as a fellow NFC East fan, I hate Washington, not as much as I hate Philadelphia, which is why I'm rooting for Washington. But I think that the Bills, whoever they play in the NFC, will end up winning, and I hope they win the Super Bowl. Um, because they've never won it, and I honestly feel bad for them because we completely routed them. I think it was like 52 to something one time,
Yep.
one of the Super Bowls.
I think we beat
Um,
them. I think we beat them like
you
37 to
beat them one.
13
Yeah, you
too.
beat them once. Because it was you. They
Yeah.
got routed by almost the whole NFC East except for the Eagles because they're frauds. But
Yeah.
because they lost to I think they lost to the Giants first, and then they lost to no. Yes, they lost to the Giants first, then they lost to you, then they lost to us twice in a row. That sounds about right.
Damn.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yep, I think it is.
Anyways, I think it's the
So let's
time
go to
to our off-season Christmas wish list, even though Christmas already passed. Do, 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 do. All right. So we have a couple just reminders here. This is obviously before free agency started. This is before any of the coaching changes for any of us have happened. Um we're going
This
in
is just
order.
strictly what we want.
Yeah, we're going in order between with we're going to start off with coaching changes and predictions for our
Yup.
team. We're going to go to free agent signings and restructuring. Then we're going to go to the draft. We're going to say our trades first. So that way you can tell. And then we're going to go to the picks that we made and give an in-depth kind of talk about the picks and why we picked them. So,
Yup.
would you like to go first for coaching? Because I know you don't have a lot, and I do.
Yeah, I think what we can do before we like start is like we can go like one by one. Like I talk about coaching, you talk about coaching, you talk about draft, I talk about draft, kind of
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that type of thing.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, we can do.
All right.
Yeah, we can do
For
that.
me, I think it's simple. The home run is that everyone comes back. Dan Quinn, Cliff Kingsbury, Joe Witt, they all come
Gotta
back.
watch out for Joe Whitman. He is drawing some attraction.
Yup. But I do think that they will. I mean, Cliff Kingsbury was like vibing on live. He was dancing with the players on like I think it was
Uh,
Mike Samuel-Still's live last night. He was vibing. He had them shades on. I don't think he's leaving. Joe Witt, I don't think he'll leave anyway.
yeah. Um, I think, yeah, I mean, it's pretty simple. If you guys go to but again, if you guys go to the Super Bowl, you guys are gonna pull a Detroit where you're gonna get a lot of attraction from people. But it depends on what they decide to do. Cliff Kingsbury obviously was a head coach. He wasn't that great in Arizona, but obviously
Yeah.
that's Arizona, so I don't blame him. And then I'm gonna go ahead and go with my coaching because mine is a lot. Um, I have for my head coaching, I have three. I didn't put, if you want to go on my doc, you can. I have three down. I have two on my sheet, but I'm gonna add three. My first one is Deion Sanders, second Ben Johnson, and a third Aaron Glenn. So Deion Sanders, they're kind of each in their own. I'd say they each add their own unique thing to the team. Obviously, Deion Sanders, I think, is a locker room builder. I think Deion Sanders has one of the best. He took Colorado from the dirt and rebuilt them into a bowl game. I think the year before they went like 4 and like something. They were not good. Ben Johnson, obviously he's an offensive mastermind. So for the sake of what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna stick with Deion Sanders as my head coach, and then obviously Aaron Glenn would add that defense. For my offensive coordinator, I have two guys that I looked at. I looked at some openings and some, people who have positions. I have Clint Kubiak, who I believe is someone for the Niners. Because I don't think he's the Saints guy. I think he's I think he's one of the coordin or like the coaches for the Niners. I need to look.
Who? Clint
Clint
Kubiak?
Kubiak. He might be this.
Clint?
He might be the New Orleans head coach or not the New Orleans offensive coordinator. No. Okay.
No,
Here
yeah,
we go.
New Orleans Saints offensive
Yeah,
coordinator.
he's the offensive coordinator. So he was going around interviewing. I was looking at some kind of openings. I think he could be great. And then another guy I looked at, although I know he didn't have a lot of success this year because he was put in a bad spot. I have Thomas Brown, who was brought up he was a Chicago interim head coach. I believe he was a passing game coordinator, and then he was moved up to offensive coordinator, and then they moved him up to interim head coach. I think his offensive scheme was great. I think that when Chicago played good again with their offense, they played good. And then my defensive coordinators, this one I really hope happens, and it's Al Harris, who I love Al Harris. He loves everybody. Everybody loves Al Harris. He brings a lot of light to this team. And he's obviously our secondary head coach, and he's just been one of the best spots. Obviously, he's a free agent. And my other guy is Robert Saleh, which I still think he might go to the Niners, but unless he gets a head coaching job. But I think that either my personal things would be Clint Kubiak and Robert Saleh, and then Al Harris and Thomas Brown, kind of those two paired
Yeah.
together. So my dream actually is going to be Deion Sanders, Clint Kubiak, and Robert Saleh as my head coach, my offense coordinator, and my defense coordinator.
Yeah. All right. So for starting going on to free agency, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, do you want me to go first so we do the snake?
Yeah,
Kind
I
of.
don't
Okay.
care.
Okay. So for free agency, I was looking at a couple things. We have a lot of players who are going to go, obviously. I have us re-signing Cavante Turpin and Zach Martin. I have us also restructuring Dak and CD to get a little bit more cap space. That'll free up a little bit. We're going to get a lot of dead money cap space from Michael Gallup. He saves us about 8 million, and a bunch of other guys from last year, so about 9 million. I think we'll have Terrence Steele. We'll cut him at the post June 1st deadline. Whoa. And then that'll save us a lot of money and that will help us here. So my first free agent signing, this one's a little bit controversial because I don't think this will happen. This one's my hope. I have Chris Godwin signing a 3-year, $60 million deal with the Cowboys. This is huge. Chris Godwin, obviously he went down this season with a leg injury. He was great. He was top 5 in receiving yards at one point. And the ability that this guy does, I believe he's a 5-year veteran and he's great. Obviously, it depends on if the he goes to another team or the Bucks re-sign him or he gets franchise tagged. But I think he's a great addition and could be a great addition to the Cowboys. My next thing, I have Khalil Mack signing a 2-year, $30 million deal. That will allow us to have another guy on the edge where Demarcus Lawrence was, because I don't have us resigning Demarcus Lawrence. I have us signing Khalil Mack. I have Hassan Reddick here too, but I like Khalil Mack more. I know he's older. I don't like Hassan Reddick because of the stuff that went down this season, and he didn't play good.
Yeah.
But I like Khalil Mack, and then I have us signing Dre Greenlaw to I think it's I did this wrong. It's supposed to be 2-year, $24 million deal. He's obviously coming off a major injury that happened in the Super Bowl last year. Um, and he's just he was great for them last year. I think he'll be back to his normal self next year. So I think that'll allow us to potentially sign him. And then I have us signing DJ Reed to a 3-year, $25 million deal. Just adding more quarterback depth. I think, Trayvon Diggs, obviously he had knee surgery again. So he's gonna be coming back from another surgery. Bland was hurt at the start of this year and come back to week 13. So just adding more of that cornerback depth is just really going to help. Amir, your thoughts on my free agent signings?
I mean, I hope you don't get any of these guys, but frankly, but
In a non-biased stand, I'll go
oh,
non-biased
I
for you
think
too.
it's great. Like you said, you can never have enough amount of corners.
Yeah,
Bringing back Zach Martin is huge. I mean, especially what he's done for your franchise.
yeah, more Pro
Now
Bowls
Chris
and
Godwin,
holding.
if you guys can get Chris Godwin, then that's an excellent pair with C Lamb. That's like
Yeah,
a Terry McLaurin
and
to T Higgins.
I have one of
But
my draft picks that I actually really like,
yeah,
who can
and then
rotate with
Hassan
Tolbert.
Reddick, Khalil Mack. I like the veteranship that Khalil Mack brings, so I will lead more towards saying you guys would sign Khalil Mack.
Uh-huh.
Dre Greenlaw, if he doesn't re-sign, I think he can be very good in that system.
Hmm.
And DJ Reed, I hope he comes to Washington because you guys will find out in a few minutes or a few seconds why.
Okay. Amir, take it away.
My free agents.
Ah,
My free agents, I try to keep in mind about how Adam Peters does this. He said he likes to supplement through free agency and build the draft. He clearly last year didn't sign a quarterback. He drafted one, which he built through the draft.
mhm.
But I think it's quite obvious. I think re-signings are, I'll go through this pretty easily. Bobby Wagner, Marcus Mariota, Jeremy Chin, Tress Way, Dante Fowler Jr., Ertz, Cornel Lucas, Chris Rodriguez, Noah Brown, Deami Brown, Noah Igbenogany, and Jamison Crowder.
Yeah.
Free agents, I think, free agents, I have 4 signings. The biggest one, I think, could argue T. Higgins for 4-year, $100 million. So that's $25 million per year. I could see a world where like free agents take less to come to Washington, but I think you have to pay good guys if you want him. T. Higgins is great. I mean, he missed the like 4 games this year. Still had 8 touchdowns, I think. A very good season. I mean, he helps you with that like jump ball type of guy.
Hmm.
He has height, 6'4". It's a home run.
Hmm.
I would love T. Higgins on my team to complement Terry McLaurin, especially to like let some weight off his shoulder. And yeah, I would love T. Higgins.
The way
Just turned
Washington's
26
been
years old.
playing,
So
I think Terry McLaurin has nothing, no weight on his shoulder. I mean, you're dealing with wide receivers
yeah,
like 4 and 5s on other teams, and you guys are just okay. Like you cooked Amon-Ra St.
yeah,
Brown.
and then
Amon-Ra St. Brown wears blue hair that he wore last year, and he that took him to the championship.
yeah.
So
Okay, so now I kind of have it with you. You had Hassan Reddick and Khalil Mack as either or. I have DJ Reed or Tre'Davious Ward either or.
okay,
And I both have explanations for these. DJ Reed, you can check the tweets, you can check whatever. I would love DJ Reed. Now, I think DJ Reed's like 5'10", 5'9", so he could be a slot guy. You could keep Mike Sanders outside. It doesn't really matter. But I
yeah,
think Marshall Lattimore would be the guy on the left or right, depending on formations.
that's why I picked DJ Reed is because Jordan Lewis is our slot guy.
Yeah,
So a guy who can be the slot. That's why I picked
yeah.
him.
But if you want to go, I had DJ Reed for 3 years, $23 million.
Okay,
And
so
then I
about the
had
same.
Tre'Davious Ward, if you want to go Tre'Davious Ward on the outside, Marshawn at the other side, and then Mike Sanders still back at his normal place as a slot for 2 year, $26 million. AP Adam Peters gets his corner that he drafted himself his first year, and he said he might leave San Francisco just because of the trauma from his baby daughter, which prayers out to Tre'Davious
Yeah,
Ward.
I mean that's just
And then my last signing is Josh Sweat for 3 years, $24 million deal.
wow.
Josh Sweat is 28 years old, but I think Washington needs someone
Hmm.
that can like really like produce. Because I love. Well, I don't think you know this, but I love a good, competent edge. Like think about Aiden Hutchinson.
Uh-huh. Well,
I would love an Aiden Hutchinson on my team, and Josh Sweat might not be no Aiden Hutchinson, but think he's a very good. I think he's a very good.
would sorry, I'm kind of going off topic back to yesterday, but would Aiden Hutchinson have been going up against Sam Cosmi or his replacement if he
No,
was
he would
still
have
there?
been going against the tackles.
Oh yeah, that's right. I'm stupid.
Yeah, I mean,
Who's your one tackle?
Brandon Coleman, our
Because I
rookie.
think he's on the left. Oh, okay. I'm just saying if they had Aiden Hutchinson, that might have been an issue. But
Yeah, but thankfully they didn't.
oh, okay.
But prayers up to him. Prayers up to him.
Yeah,
I hope he.
I was going after some Eagles fans today. Um, I mean, obviously they won, but like I was like I forget what I was doing, but oh, I put on the NFC because they tweeted about the NFC East showdown. I put they should have been the Cowboys, and I got clowned.
Oh,
Yeah, it was funny. Okay, continue. Sorry, I'm.
and then that's my like free agency and re-signings. Not a lot. And
Mhm.
with this, I went and projected Washington would still have the least amount of money they would still have left is 40 to 50 million left, but I think it's more so going to be that like 30 to 40 million dollar like range for like, free agency in like June, August, whatnot,
Yeah.
UDFA's draft class signings.
Uh-huh.
And then yeah, that's pretty much who I have. And then I think we're doing snakes. So now I'll talk about my draft.
Yeah, so we're going with trades first. Just
Okay, so
I
I
listed the
didn't.
trades I put down, but if you didn't have any,
Yeah,
I can just go on trades.
yeah, I didn't do any trades.
Okay.
So you can do your trade, then I'll talk about. Or do you want to talk about your trade when like you're talking about your actual draft?
What I can do is I can go in order of when I traded, and so we can talk about the draft, and then I can when the trade comes up in that certain part of the draft, I can talk about like that trade. So, do you want to
Yes.
go your first round pick, and we'll just do
Yes.
snake with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So my first round pick is honestly someone that I think is a very good. I'm trying to search him up real quick. I
Yeah.
have Texas A&M defensive end. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce his name. Nick
Scorpion.
Scorton.
Yeah, Nick Scoring. Yep.
He's 6'4", 265, 280. He's only 20 years old. He turns 21 in
Mhm.
August, which is crazy.
Wow. So
But
he'll be like what's his name? That Brayden Allen.
yeah, he's only 20. I would love him, especially if he falls. I think you could also say like James Pierce falls, but if Nick Scorton's here, I'm running to the podium. This guy's violent.
Uh-huh.
He's explosive, even at 6 foot, even at 280 or listed at 280. I'm trying to think, and then wait, hold on, give me a second. I'm trying to look at
Good.
his 40 time because I know it was posted.
All right.
Yeah, his 40 time is 470, which isn't the fastest, but wait, hold on, wait, no. I think there's one on Bleacher Report. Hold on. Yeah, so he's very good. And like I said, I'd love if we don't sign Josh Sweat, I'm fine with that. If we get an edge, I would love a young edge. And this draft class has a lot of edges. Or
Uh-huh.
that's kind of weird. But they have a lot of defensive ends that I think can really go like until like the third to second round. Like guys like Jared Ivey. You
Uh-huh.
have Antoine Powell Ryland.
Oh my God, APR, I love you. I'm sorry, that's just Hokies biased.
And
I'll
then
talk about
there's
that
guys
later.
like JT Tomualu from Ohio State. Kyle Kennard. If he's here, I would love this pick. I mean, only
Uh-huh.
20 years old, turns 21 during training camp. I think even the preseason. He's a home run pick. And I do believe we picked him right where he's supposed to go
Yeah.
at like late first to mid second. And I would love this pick for Washington.
Yeah. Speaking of OSU, we got a OSU fan in the house. You ready for tomorrow?
Definitely. I can't wait.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be a blowout.
my brother's like he's got a cake ready and everything in case they win. Which I'm hoping for the Fighting Irish, but I don't really care because my college team sucks, but it's just personal
Or
bias.
you could never root for me, bro. It's always something like,
Okay, I just I don't like Ohio State. Like something
oh,
about
that
Ohio
makes
State just makes me mad. Like I don't like Alabama either. I don't like any of like the big schools. Like the only big school I like is what's Texas. That's the only big school I really like.
oh
Like
yeah.
SEC, I like LSU, but oh,
Yeah.
and one of my mock drafts, I'm just steering off topic real quick. I had Kyron Lacey, which I was like, yeah, that's probably a bad idea now because of
Yeah.
what happened with him. Okay, anyways, I'm getting off topic. So my first round pick, this is my first trade. I had Dallas trading back 3 spots. So Dallas gets the number one or round one pick 15. Um, they get a 2026 round 6 pick and a 2026 round 7 pick. And in return, Atlanta, who was pick 15, moves up to number 12. So at pick 15, because he's still on the board, the best running back in the draft class, I got Ashton Jeanty out of Boise State. This guy, second in Heisman voting, is one of the best running backs to come out of college since J.K. Dobbins from Alabama. You got Ezekiel Elliott from OSU. You got Derrick Henry from Alabama. I mean, this dude is a beast. Obviously, Dallas has a lot of ties to Boise State with Leighton Vander Esch, the linebacker that we drafted, Demarcus Lawrence, who we drafted out of Boise State. They got a lot of ties there. Ashton Jeanty ran for 2,600. He had a 2,601 yards, 374 carries. He averaged 7 yards a carry and 29 touchdowns this season. He also is good at catching. He was better at catching last year, but he obviously because he ran a lot this year. But I think that if this is a huge pick for the Cowboys. Their main concern is running back, and he's explosive. He gets out of the pocket. He's able to sprint. He's able to create separation. He's also a good pass blocker for Prescott, who definitely needs that with potentially depleted offensive line.
Wow.
Wait, we'll give our thoughts on each guys. So if you, do, I'll give my thought on your guy. You guys need edge. So I think that I'm trying to let me remember his name. Nick Scorton. I think that's a great pick for you guys. I watched a little bit of him at Texas A&M. He's great. He's explosive off the edge. He can get around the offensive line. So I think that's good. And
I
I
mean,
mean, you probably Ashton Genty's Ashton Genty, so I wouldn't be
for you
surprised.
guys, I think you don't need running back,
Whoa, whoa,
but
whoa, 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 whoa,
but
whoa, whoa, whoa.
but if Ashton Genty's there for any team, let's say you guys don't take him at 13, if he's there after pick
There's one team I'm worried
15,
about taking Ashton Genty, and that's the Raiders.
yeah, but if Ashton Genty is there after the first 15 picks, then wherever he goes, it's a luxury pick.
Uh-huh.
But if you guys don't bring back Rico Dowdle,
Oh,
then yeah,
yeah, we need to bring back Rico Dowdle.
I'd love the Ashton Genty pick.
Uh-huh.
But I do think if Rico Dowdle's back, you could easily go after a receiver to help Dak Prescott. Let's say you
Yeah, and I
don't
mean
get
this
one.
running back class is stacked, so I get what you're saying. Like
But yeah,
if he's taken, I'm fine with going for a receiver. Like, because I'm thinking the Raiders have a chance to take him. So if the Raiders take him, I mean, we're looking at, potential receiver Emeka Abuga, um, Luther Burden if he's still there, Hetero McMillan. Um, okay, round two.
yup.
All right, my round two pick 44. I was taking Jihad Campbell out of Alabama. He's a linebacker, and this Cowboys, defense is severely depleted at linebacker. We are obviously, I'm heartbroken about the Marvion Overshown and the fact that are just linebacker core, like middle line. Something about Dallas Cowboys and middle linebackers, they just don't age well. I don't know why, but I mean, this guy here, he had 119 total tackles, 55 solo tackles, 64 assist tackles. Uh, he had 5 sacks this year, so he's great off the edge. If in case we want to set a blitz or anything, he had 2 forced fumbles and an interception. He's great in the just coverage overall unit. He's got a bunch of pass deflections, so he's great when it comes to getting off the line like a Micah Parsons and also dropping back in coverage, which is why I picked him for more depth in case the Marvion Overshown does not come back next year or comes back, very late in the season, which is what it. He said he was making good progress. I think they reported about that. But I mean, it just depends on, he suffered a brutal injury. He tore his PCL, his ACL, and his MCL. Like his whole and he tore his ACL the season before. It's heartbreaking, honestly. Obviously, middle linebackers Leighton Vander Esch retired early because medically. I'm still mad at what's his name for that hit.
Oh
Trent
yeah.
Williams. So with my second overall pick, I was taking Jahad Campbell out of Alabama. Your thoughts on Jahad Campbell?
I love him. I think if he's there and Washington wants a luxury or not luxury pick, if Washington wants another guy who can really be a very good linebacker, especially if Bobby Wagner doesn't come back, then I'd take him. Now, I do think, depending on who was still left on your board, pick 44 is a very good spot to potentially trade up
Mm-hmm.
and trade down. And I know second round pick, just take whoever you can get. They'll be good. If you kind of know who's gonna go where as an NFL GM, or in this case, if Jerry Jones decides to actually use his brain on draft night, he could potentially like trade back and get him like 15, 10 picks after.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Is I hope he does it. I hope he trades back,
Oh
honestly,
wait,
because
we should probably give
we need the picks.
grades of each pick.
I mean, I have my grades that were sitting on the mock drafting graded my thing. I had all A's and B's.
I know that's what I had, all A's and a B plus.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll give you a grade. I love this pick. I think he can be very good for you guys, and he could be another star.
Yeah.
All right. Well, moving on to my next pick. He's the guy that I think is the second best running back in this draft class. And he's where Drake May was at college last year. And that is
Oh,
none
okay.
other than Omarion Hampton.
Yep.
I love this pick because I think I'm going to do a mock draft where he's my first round pick because I'm that confident in him.
Wow.
And I know that might
Amarian
sound,
Hampton is your first round pick. You're that
yeah,
confident in? Wow.
I'm that confident this guy's going to be one of those guys.
But what if there's like a good cornerback available? Like you still kind of need corner, unless the free agency. But
If we get a free agency, oh wait, this is what I mean. Like if like Washington goes and gets a receiver like T. Higgins in free agency,
yeah, this is
then
why we're gonna do a mock draft after free agency is
yeah.
over because
But
we
I
have
do
no idea what's
think
gonna happen.
I would love this guy. I mean, especially you need a home run guy because Brian Robinson, he doesn't have a speed to take it 70 yards like Saquon Barkley
Uh-huh.
or like freaking.
Well, I mean, what I saw yesterday, he was explosive. So I don't know.
He's very good, but he's a back that's like 10, 15 yards, 30,
Yeah.
40 yards.
Okay.
But
Yeah, I get
and
what you mean.
Austin Eckler is great. But let's be honest. Austin Eckler's 30-30. What running back will be on a team for like after 32, 33?
Derrick Henry.
I mean, Derrick Henry's just special, okay?
I know.
But I would love this pick. I think having a young running back is very important to like having a young edge. And if these two picks for Washington erupt, you might not see the enemy because I would love a running back that can believe. Like I just love running backs. I think running backs are
Uh-huh.
a luxury, and if you have a good running back, then I would love a running back. And Omarion Hampton, please be there at 62. But if you're not first round pick, I'm that confident.
Okay. All right. So do you have a round three? Oh, 61. Yeah, okay. Do you have a round three?
Wait, grade my pick.
Oh, Marion Hampton. I mean, he's explosive at UNC. I mean, if you look at, I mean, yeah, you could definitely use him. I don't think you need him that much, but I mean, if you want to find another guy who can potentially be another Brian Robinson, then I definitely think that this is a good pick for you. Give it like a B, B, B.
Yup.
Okay, your next one.
My
Because
next
I have a
one,
lot. I know you don't, but
yeah. My next one is Ty Felton out of Maryland. This
I'm a
guy's another
Maryland guy
draft
too.
prospect. Like this guy's another draft, and it's kind of confusing because Ty Felton. I remember like the first month of college football playoffs, he was like a late first round pick. Then he kind of like
Kind of dropped.
floated away from the top of the water, kind of
Uh-huh.
like sunk a little. And if he's here, I mean, he's very fast. I mean, 6'2", 186. If he's here, I would love him as my slot guy. I mean, he's a more of like a deep ball type of guy. And again, you need as much as talent as you can against Jaden Daniels. And I think getting him, T. Higgins, Terry McLaurin is an absolute beast because Terry McLaurin has speed, but he's a guy that can make a 10-yard catch, literally like yesterday, like a 3-yard catch into a 60-yard touchdown.
Yeah,
T. Higgins is your jump ball guy, the more aggressive guy. And then Ty Felton is that home run, like 50-yard pass type of guy. He
sure,
breaks the defenses.
sure. Yeah.
I would love this pick, and I know Washington might have two rookies playing on offense next year, but these two rookies if they exceed expectations, especially if Amarion Hampton's ready,
Mhm.
boy, could Washington be another top 5 defense? Dare I say top 3?
Yeah. I like this pick for you. I mean, you definitely need that receiver help, even though you're in the NFC Championship game with, you know, a lot of, wide receiver potential 4 and 5s. So, I mean, I'm gonna give this an A. I mean, I saw this guy's highlights. I saw him play at Maryland. He's great. He's really explosive. I like him. So my round three pick 76, I have Alfred Collins out of Texas. He's a defensive lineman, 6'5", 320 pounds. This season, he recorded 55 total tackles, 27 solo, 28 assists, has 6 passes deflected, 1 sack, and 1 forced fumble. He's kind of a guy who, could be, like a replacement to also a Digizawa or Mozzie Smith or that guy on that defensive tackle line. He's great. He's great at allowing the quarterback to throw the ball. He's great at applying pressure um, against the quarterback. He's great at kind of collapsing that pocket. His cutting ability is pretty good. So I like this pick just so it adds that depth at defensive line.
Yeah, I get what you mean. And for me, I'll tell you this right now. Alfred Collins is kind of that like riser.
Yeah.
I think he was because I think I like know I think I'm like our draft guy because I don't think
Yeah,
you like
you are the
follow.
draft guy. Like when draft night comes, round one, me and you are gonna go. We're gonna be on stream.
Yup,
I'm telling you this right now. It's happening, and we're gonna go ahead and grade every single pick that happens in that draft because
yup. And I think Alfred Collins, he could really you could argue he goes anywhere from second round,
like
like
fourth.
mid second to like mid third, and then it's very good for a guy who I think was projected to go like mid fourth to like late fifth.
Yeah.
He's very tough, like you said,
Uh-huh.
and he's another guy that like with the right amount of coaching, he can be a very good player.
Yeah. So I like him. Obviously, we need that defensive line help. So your next pick, Mr. Amir.
My
Oh,
next
I like
pick
this. Yeah, I like this one.
is my next pick is a guy who could look like an offensive tackle, but is but plays interior offensive lineman.
Yeah.
And I kind of did this with the sense of Sam Cosmi might not be back on time,
Uh-huh.
but I think Dylan Fairchild, he's 21 years old. He's tough. He has the traits. He has the toughness. He
Hmm.
has the height. He has what he needs to be a future guy. Like if we want to like let him rest, make him like be like a bench guy for a few years
Uh-huh.
until Nick Algoretti leaves. I mean, what when Nick Algoretti's contract expires, I think Dylan will be like 23, 24. And I think he's a guy that could really like be a future offensive lineman for you.
Yeah.
And especially you need offensive lineman when you have arguably one of the most uprising quarterbacks in the league. And I think Dylan
Uprising,
Fairchild.
more like probably one of the greatest rookie sensations in the league. I don't think I has a rookie ever gone in the NFC Championship game? Like I know a rookie's gone to a
No,
championship game because I know Roethlisberger went, but I don't know if a NFC rookie's ever gone.
no,
No, so I mean that's already history. Like this dude's insane.
yeah,
And I came in, yeah, I was watching the draft. I watched a little bit of picks. I was remote for a little bit of it. But I mean, I saw the Washington Commanders get Jaden Daniels, and my first reaction, I was in a theater, I was watching a play, and I went, "Oh shit," because I knew this guy was going to be trouble. And I mean, Commanders fans, I deal with beef from everybody at this point. I get beef from the most fan bases. Hell, I get beef from fucking Seattle. I played Seattle once
yup,
that I remember. I'm like I don't have anything like obviously they're a division rival and like that. But when it comes down to like actual rivalries, I don't have anything against the Commanders. I never have. Obviously, I'm from the area, so I have to live with that. So yeah, I don't
yup.
know what exactly. Sorry, I thought my mic cut out. Am I good?
No, it didn't. It just got like big for like a second.
Yeah, I think I just got quiet. That's
But
all.
yeah, I think Dylan Fairchild could be very good. I mean, especially our offensive line coach has been playing very good, especially Nick Algoretti,
Hmm.
who Nick Algoretti, I want to give credit to because this guy, when he first interviewed with the Commanders, like media, he said, I didn't come here to be a bench guy. I came here to start and be the best version I can. And he's been the best version that he can.
Yeah.
He's been very good for Washington. He brings that winning mentality, especially winning 2 championship or Super Bowls with
Hmm.
the Chiefs. And Dylan Fairchild, he could be someone that's sneaky good for Washington in the, I think, fourth round.
Yeah. Um. So, you Dylan Fairchild. Yeah, I like him. I think he's a great actually addition. So, do you want to go your next pick, or do you just want me to go because I'm more? What would you like me to?
You
What
can
would you?
go. You can
Okay.
go two. Then I'll go Jack Nelson.
All right. You want me to go to? Well, okay. Well, you just said it to who your pick is, but okay. So is this? No, this is not the
Love
pick
it.
yet. Um. So I have with the we don't have a round four pick because we wasted it on Jonathan Mingo. Thanks, Jerry. So my round five pick, 148. I have Mello Dotson out of Kansas. He's a cornerback. He has let's look. This season he had 49 total tackles, 39 solo, 10 assists, one forced fumble, one fumble return, and five interceptions and two touchdowns, two pick sixes. He has six passes defended. So I'm this guy, for cornerback depth, for a guy we drafted Kalen Carson obviously this year, in the fifth round out of Wake. So just adding more of that quarterback depth in case we don't get DJ Reed or another cornerback. I watched this guy, Mello Dotson. He's great. He's 6'1", 190 pounds. So he's a little bit on the smaller side, but I mean, just adding that cornerback depth, I think, is really important for the Cowboys. In case Trayvon Diggs and Deron, obviously Trayvon Diggs, you know, stays injured for a little bit more than he should be. But yeah, what do you think?
I mean, I love Mello Dotson. I think I also really like Kobe Bryant from Kansas.
Yeah.
He's their other corner. I mean, he's like an Emmanuel Forbes, but he's actually a very good coverage corner.
Uh-huh.
But again, you can't go wrong with either of these two. They're very solid. They have a lot of potential, and I think fourth to fifth round is like okay, high end potential. Let's see how it goes type of picks, and I think that's exactly what you got. That's exactly what you got for talent wise, and I
Mhm.
love that pick for you.
Yeah. Okay. So since Amir has a little bit less than me, I'll just go ahead and keep going. Uh Let's go to my next pick. Round five pick, 170. I have Tyler Barron out of Miami. He's an edge. Tyler Barron, obviously, the Miami Hurricanes didn't end the season the way they wanted to after they lost to Syracuse like a bunch of bums. This guy,
Yeah,
he's more of a guy who wants, he's recorded 10 sacks, or sorry, not 10 sacks. He had 38 total tackles, 18 solo, 20 assists, 5.5 sacks, and one forced fumble. He's again another guy who you kind of want to develop. He had a great season last year. He had 60 or he had 6 sacks, sorry, not 66. But he was able to he's just kind of that depth guy that you want to add behind, if you get a guy like Khalil Mack who's obviously aging a little bit. Sorry, Khalil Mack. And then, a guy like Micah Parsons. So, they need rotations. Obviously, we have Marshawn Nealon who came out of um I forget where he came out of. Crap. Oh, I don't remember. But we got him this year in the draft round two. So I think that this guy he's got a lot of value and could add more depth. Obviously, I was drafting for depth here for a team that definitely needs depth. So, Amir, what do you think?
yeah, Tyler Baron, he's someone that I was looking at for Washington as well. I think he can be very good. I think he, again, like I said, a high potential type of guy. And I think honestly, if you guys do get him, he has a lot of potential, good size for an edge. I think as well too, like what 6'4", 6'5".
Let me look. He is 6'5", 260. Yep.
Yeah, so he has the size, he has the strength, and if this does turn out to be another good pick, that D line might literally be one of the scariest D lines.
Yeah. Hell, put me in GM. God damn, I'm cooking right now. What the hell? I'm gonna get
Yeah,
I'm gonna get a job as one of these scout people. My goal when I'm older is to hopefully move down to Dallas and buy season pass tickets and then hopefully work for them one day. Because why not? Even though I know nothing about money,
yeah, I
but
guess.
I
Wait,
guess.
give me a second.
Okay, do you want to go with your next pick? And I think he
Yeah.
said, "Oh, I like this guy."
My NFL, my God damn it. My next pick is um, what's my next pick? Oh, I already said
Jack.
it, but my next
Yeah.
pick is Jack Nelson. He's been uprising, kind of like Alfred Collins. I mean, he's 6'6", two, I think like 305. Again, if we move on from Andrew Wiley, I think he's someone that can be really good. I mean, he has all the tools to be good.
Mhm.
Again, it's the sixth round or the fifth round for crying out loud. It's a hit or a miss. I do love his potential a lot though, and I think he has a lot of potential to be our future right left tackle. And yeah, I just took the guy that I think I believe in, and I hope it works out.
All right, I'll move on. And I believe this. No, not yet. This is not the trade. My next pick. This one is this one is close to me, and it's the 173rd pick in the fifth round. It's Bayshal Tootin out of Virginia Tech. Dude, I love this guy so much. He ran for 1,159 yards, 15 touchdowns, averaged 6.3 yards a carry. He's also a great catcher out of the backfield. He's been better in previous years. He averages about 2 touchdowns from catching, but he's had two 1,000-yard seasons. He was injured last year, so he didn't in 2023, so it wasn't he didn't run a lot. So I mean, this just add more, if we re-sign Rico Dowdle, that's great. But this just adds more depth. Because I don't like Deuce Vaughn. I'm sorry, Deuce Vaughn. Like you seem like a great running back, but you are way too small. But this dude,
Yep.
he's 5'11", 209. He can kind of work like an Ezekiel Elliott, kind of if we need him to. But also Ashton Genty's really powerful. This is just to add depth to the linebacker or the running back room, which I think really needs help. Your thoughts on Bashal Tootin, the Hokie prodigy, which I love my whole heart. Amir.
Oh, yeah. So my next pick
No, no, no,
is
no, 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 no. Your thoughts on
oh,
Bashal
my
Tootin.
thoughts on my God, I'd be forgetting what I have to do.
You're
Um,
you're bugging,
my
dude. You
thoughts.
alright?
Yeah, I'm fine. I think
Uh,
my thoughts on this pick is probably, again, you guys could argue you need a running back, especially if you don't pick Ashton Genty. This guy, I think, has been solid for the Virginia Hokies. I mean, again, I don't really like follow because,
he's
like
he's
Ohio
he's
State's
been
like
one of
up
the
here,
best
and then
running
it's
backs
like
that we've had.
Virginia Tech. Yeah, but like you know what I mean. Like I don't really follow
Yeah.
like low tier teams because Ohio State's like always on the top. I don't like pay attention to like bad
Now, now,
teams.
now. Wait a
But
second. Low tier team. You know, I was one of our quarterbacks was Michael Vick, right? You probably didn't know that.
whoopsie daisies.
Yeah, you probably had no idea
No, I
Michael Vick
didn't.
was one of our quarterbacks. Yeah, first overall pick from Virginia Tech. Suck on that. Where's the first overall? Oh, well, I guess Matthew. No, Matthew's not for Georgia. Huh? Where's your first overall quarterback pick from Ohio State? I don't see him anywhere. That's probably one out there. I don't know.
It was really like C.J. Stroud, freaking
Okay, Caesar Side was
Joe Burrow
second
played
overall.
there.
Come on, man. Get with the program. I'm playing with you. Okay. Um, yeah. I won't talk too much about Baseball Tootin because we're getting to the point where like this one's good though. So this accumulates a trade. So this is with the Baltimore Ravens. This is a pick from earlier. We originally had the 168th pick. We trade that to Baltimore. We get the 174th pick and the 181st pick. And with the 174th pick, I'm taking Jalen Noel out of Iowa State. This dude is a dog. He had 80 receptions, 1,194 yards, 8 touchdowns, averaged 14.9 yards a catch. Like 14.9 yards is a lot.
Jeez.
Yeah. Breakout season this year, 8 touchdowns. He's been great for the Cyclones. And I think that just, obviously we have Jalen Tolbert. If we get another receiver like Chris Godwin, if we don't, this guy could be a great 2 or 3. I like this guy a lot. I was watching him in the Pop Tart Bowl. He is explosive. He knows how to get it done. Amir, what are your thoughts on Jalen Noel?
Jalen Noel is someone that I was actually looking into for Washington.
See.
In like the late rounds, I think he's Jalen Noel. I've heard. I have to search him up because I remember I like did some scouting on him. I mean, again, yeah. He's 5'10". He's like again, kind of like that. What do you call it? The Ty Felton type of guy. I mean,
Yeah.
he's very he's fast. I mean, 5'10". He's had a very great year. Yeah, 1,200 yards, 8 touchdowns. It's very good as a senior. I mean, he had 820 yards and 8 touchdowns last year. So I do think this guy can be very good, and if he works out, then you guys have someone that can be very solid for you in the future.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and deal with my last kind of pick. But I mean I have one more that I just wanna so that way it kind of evens out. This is accumulating with the trade from Baltimore. We get this pick on 6 pick 181. And that's Jay Higgins out of Iowa. He's a linebacker, again adding more depth to people off the edge, but he's also one of the linebackers that kind of sits back. He's got 124 total tackles, 53 solo, 71 assists, 1 sack, 2 forced fumbles, 1 fumble recovery, and 4 interceptions. This guy is like a oh my god, he's on my team. Why can't I think of the name? Oh my god, Eric Kendricks. There we go. He's like an Eric Kendricks. He sits back. He blitzes when he needs to. This guy's exceptional. I love this guy. He can add so much depth to this linebacker room who is depleted. Obviously with DeMarvion Overshown out, but I just think that this guy is really good. Amir, what are your thoughts on this guy?
Jay Higgins.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, dude, you're picking all the guys I like love for Washington in the late rounds. But yeah, Jay Higgins, like you said, he's physical, he's tough. I would love Jay Higgins as well on my team. Especially if like Bobby Wagner can come back and you want like a really like top prospect that can be like solid for you. Again, he's tough, physical, and again, you need linebackers. I think you can have a lot of linebacker depth and be a-okay with that. And yeah, I mean, if this does work out, like I said it before, it's a 6 round pick. I mean, it's so you're drafting him, and hopefully he works out for you. But he has a lot of potential.
Yeah. Okay. Your next pick, I'll go 2 and then or how many do you have left?
I have 2 left.
2. Okay, so you'll go 1, I'll go 2, and then you'll go 1, I'll go
Well, I'll
2.
just do my 2 because the last
Okay.
one is freaking. I'm not talking about it at all.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so my next pick is Jalen Walker, linebacker out of Indiana. He does a little bit of everything. Um, so I think that's very huge. Let me search up his stats. Jalen Walker. He's also a Richmond native, so pretty close to the DMV area, I guess you can say.
Okay.
His high school was James Madison High School, which I didn't even know, but he's not the biggest linebacker, 6'1", 218, not the biggest.
Okay.
But in the college football playoffs against Notre Dame, he had 10 tackles and 1 forced fumble. This year was his career year, but each year he's gotten better. So his sophomore year he had 3 interceptions. Last year he had 4. This year he had 2. He doesn't really sack the quarterback a lot, but I think he can be a very solid guy. Again, if Bobby Wagner leaves, he's a hometown native. Washington wants leaders. He's a guy that can be really good. And to be honest with you, if he's here, I'm taking this guy because honestly, I love Jordan McGee. I think he's a future Washington Commander
Yeah.
linebacker, but to be honest,
Mhm.
he's like Luke McCaffrey. We don't know how good he's going to be, but on special teams, Jordan McGee is a dog. But he's a linebacker, and if Jalen Walker is a type of guy in the 7th round, he's there. Welcome, buddy.
Okay. Um, do you just want me to keep going?
I'll say
Okay.
my last pick.
Okay.
And my last pick is Ryan Fitzpatrick. Not the 40-year-old quarterback.
Fitzmagic!
Not the not the 48-year-old quarterback. I'm talking about Ryan Fitzgerald. He's a kicker out of I think
You
46.
drafted a kicker?
Yes, with my 7th round
Oh
pick.
my. That's
Because
so
I'm getting sick
funny.
and tired of this, bro. Freaking
Dane Gonzalez,
heart
you're getting sick and
attacks.
tired of him?
Yes, because this guy, I mean, his longest is 57. He made every single field goal point
You should get
or
that one
field
Toledo
goal.
guy who kicked like that 60-yarder.
Yeah, and then
Or Temple
he's
or
made
whatever.
every single extra point throughout his whole career.
Hey, you definitely need that
Um,
if you don't want to repeat it last or what happened against us.
and then
I'm sorry.
his like field goals are all his whole career have all been above 90%.
Wow. All right, so that's a great kicker. Better watch out. Green Bay is probably gonna take him. All right.
Yep,
Um,
probably.
my next pick is round six, pick at 190. We got this. Okay, this is another trade. We gave Cleveland round six, pick 186. In return, we get pick 190, pick 215, and a round seven next year. Which is great capital. And with my 190th pick, I'm taking a guy who's playing tomorrow in Riley Leonard out of Notre Dame to back up Prescott as a rookie. You know, we'll probably bring in another quarterback with a free agency to give him some depth. But I think Riley Leonard, he's been playing great with Notre Dame in his first year with him. He's obviously in the national championship. That says a lot. But just his ability to score, he's a great running quarterback. He's dual threat quarterback. He can throw. Um, so I think just having him to back up Prescott and just another guy who can
After
get in
he
there.
has a stinker next game tomorrow, I don't think you want him, buddy.
Well, we'll see what happens next tomorrow. And then, well, speaking of next tomorrow, I have another guy. Round six, pick 109. I have Seth McLaughlin. He's an interior O lineman out of Ohio State University. I looked through him. He doesn't look like he's played. I can't find his stats for some reason. They don't show. I don't know why they don't show. Maybe he's like private. So a lot of these guys don't, like the next two guys I have, or the next guy I have doesn't show either. The next guy I have, round six, pick 215 that we got from Cleveland is Xavier Truss. He's an offensive
Oh
tackle
yeah,
out of
he's someone that
Georgia.
I liked a lot.
Yeah, you'll see. I have him in my. You'll see at the end what I did with him. And then my last pick is because I hate our strong safety. I absolutely hate whoever his name is, Donovan Wilson or whatever. My last pick, round seven, pick 248. I have Dante Trader Jr. out of Maryland. He's great. I love him. I love just the ability he does to be a safety. So that's my thing. And then we have our final kind of complete roster. Would you like to go first for offense?
Yes, for
Okay.
my offense, I have starting quarterback. Obviously, we have Jaden Daniels. Running back, Omarion Hampton.
Okay.
Wide receiver number 1, Terry McLaurin. Wide receiver number 2, T. Higgins. Wide receiver number 3, Ty Felton. Tight end 1, Ben Sinnott.
Okay.
Left tackle number 1, Brandon Coleman. Left guard, Nick Algoretti. Center, Tyler Biotish. Right guard, Dylan Fairchild until Cosme comes back.
Okay.
And then Andrew Wiley as well, but I would not mind Dylan Fairchild being a right tackle if Andrew Wiley is not back.
Okay, okay, and then I'll go
Yep.
for offense. So my quarterback is Dak Prescott. I got Dak Prescott. Running back one, Ashton Genty. Wide receiver one, CeeDee Lamb. Wide receiver two, Chris Godwin. Wide receiver three, Jalen Noel. Tight end one, Jake Ferguson. Tight end two, Luke Schoonmaker. My left tackle is Tyler Guyton. My left guard is Tyler Smith. My center is Cooper Beebe. My right guard is Zach Martin. And my right tackle is Xavier Truss. That's my first. Well, that's my second rookie start, third rookie start. But I
Yeah.
think he can eat because I don't want Terrence Steele on my team anymore.
Damn.
Final. Yeah, I hate Terrence Steele with a passion. My dad hates him so much. Like, think Benjamin St. Juste level, but offensive tackle. Like, he's bad.
Yeah, I know. Hey, but
Okay.
if you say Benjamin St. Juice, bro, then I
Ah!
know I know he's bad.
And we all love Benjamin St. Juste.
No, we
Okay.
don't. Please stop lying to me. All right.
Okay.
So for my defense, we have Nick Scorton, D end rookie. Then I kind of have a rotation because
hmm
either one of these guys can start. We have Johnny Newton and Deron Payne,
Okay.
Jonathan Allen. D end, we have Dorrance Armstrong and Dante Fowler as rotational guys because
Okay.
obviously Dante
Yep.
Fowler and Dorrance Armstrong are former Cowboys.
hmm
Then left outside linebacker, you have Jalen Walker or Jordan McGee. I think those two are young prospects that can get some snaps rotationally.
hmm
Bobby Wagner is linebacker number one, and then again Frankie Luvu.
All right.
Cornerback number one, we have Marshawn Lattimore. Cornerback number two, DJ Reed, Tre'Davious Ward, whichever one Washington signs, let's say.
Yep.
And then slot is Mike Sanders still. Free safety, Quan Martin. Strong safety, Jeremy Chin.
Yeah. All right. My defense. My edge, obviously Micah Parsons. My defensive tackle is Alfred Collins. My other defensive tackle is also Zawa. My other edge is Khalil Mack. My outside linebacker is Dre Greenlaw. My other outside linebacker is Marcus Leofau. My middle linebacker is Marvion Overshone. My cornerback is DJ Reed. My other cornerback, Trayvon Diggs and Deron Bland. My free safety is Malik Hooker. And my strong safety is Dante Trader Jr. And yeah, that is our wish list. Really quick, I want to mention something to you, Amir. Did you see my tweet? All right,
Oh, yup.
You know Tom Grossi, right?
Definitely. Who doesn't?
Yeah, he liked the post.
Wait, did he actually?
Yeah, he actually did. I'll send you a screenshot in a minute. But he liked it. I thought that was really cool because I clipped it and I was like, this is so funny. But Tom Grossi, I love you. You're probably not gonna see this, but if you do, I love you and I love your videos. But that's going to be it from us here. We'll have more videos coming out, mock drafts, more predictions. Obviously, we'll react to the AFC and NFC championship games next week. I'm going to go ahead because I'm behind on videos, so I need to get, I think, a video from almost a week ago out, which has us actually predicting the divisional round. So I'm going to go and take care of that right now. Thank you guys so much for listening in. Hope you guys enjoyed. Stick around. Drop us a follow. Drop us a listen on Spotify. And we'll catch you guys later. Peace
All right,
out.
see you.